Hey, Jaguars! Welcome to another episode of Ralph's Universe, the Reboot. You may already know this, but for any new Jaguars, we'll introduce ourselves. I'm the animated version of Rocky Blue.
I'm the animated version of Cece Jones. My girlfriend, Rocky, and me were on Shake It Up until it got cancelled, and we got kicked to the curb.
Wow.
Friend. My friend. Rocky and me.
I'm Naruto, the preteen.
And I'm the big Naruto. Now, in the previous episode of The Reboot, we reviewed the video game known as Batman, the Telltale series. That was part 1 of our review. Part 2 will be on the Ralph Jag channel soon. But before that is discussed, Ralph Jaguar wants to review a real topic. It's about a terrible tragedy that occurred about 2.5 years ago that involved Christy, Mack, an adult film star, and Jon Koppenhaver, also known as War Machine. Actually, his legal name is War Machine. He was born and named Jon Koppenhaver by his parents, and after he became a pro MMA fighter, Jon had his name legally changed to War Machine.
Who does that?
The Ultimate Warrior also did that. He was a WWE wrestler whose real name was James Hellwig, and then he legally changed his name to Warrior.
Warrior passed away a few years ago. Back to War Machine and Christy Mack. Now, the die-hard Jaguars who watch this show already know about the situation that occurred on August 8th of 2014. And Ralph Jaguar did make a video about this incident, as you all know. I think we need to start at the beginning, Rocky. That's what I'm going to do, Naruto. Okay, good. Go ahead and do that. Anyways, Christine Mackindey, also known as Christy Mack, is an adult film star that makes exotic films for the very mature audience.
She's a porn star.
Preteen.
What? She F's guys on video, and she gets paid to do it.
Yeah, and you like watching her do that.
I don't think that's a bad job. That's an epic job. Christy Mack is in the same line of work that Sarah, the Easy Diva, is in.
Okay, Jaguars, Christy Mack's job is not the subject matter of this episode.
Then, what is?
How about the fact that she almost got killed on August of 2014? You can say whatever you want about her profession, but Christy Mack is a human being, and she should not have gotten the beating that she got. According to the research that Ralph Jaguar did, Christy Mack and War Machine were dating for a while. Christy says that it was mostly an abusive relationship, and War Machine was physically violent towards Christy.
Which means that War Machine would hit Christy a lot.
At the trial of War Machine, a lot of facts came out, and shocking things were revealed. War Machine was on trial for attempting to kill both Christy Mack and her friend, Corey Thomas. Both Christy and Corey got on the stand and told their version of what happened on the night of August 8th, 2014. Yeah, a lot of people testified in that trial.
Yeah, a lot of people. But not War Machine.
War Machine was being charged with a lot of charges. One of them is rape, according to Christy. While they both were laying on the bed, Christy was upset about one of her pet snakes dying, so she didn't want to have sex with War Machine that night.
Wait, she has pet snakes? Christy Mack has snakes? As pets?
Preteen. That's not the point of this episode.
I know, but still, she keeps them as pets?
Preteen Naruto. Let's move on. Like I was saying, they were both laying on the bed. Christy is upset about her favorite snake dying. War Machine wants to have sex, but Christy doesn't, and she tells him that. Then, War Machine got on top of Christy, forced himself on her, and raped her.
OMG.
But before that happened, one time they were arguing in War Machine's car, and Jon slammed Christy's head into the dashboard.
This is not a good relationship at all. Jaguars.
No, this is sick.
So, to summarize the story, fast forward to 2014 of June, Jon had broken up with Christy Mack. Then, Christy started. I don't know how to put this. Christy started seeing, or going out with Corey Thomas, even though they weren't officially dating?
That's about right, Rocky.
Okay. And during that time, and upcoming July, Christy Mack and War Machine were talking to each other.
While she was going out with Corey Thomas, Jaguars.
We just established that, preteen.
I know. I was just making sure that the Jaguars knew.
The Jaguars always know. They're real smart.
During the trial, Christy did say that, just before August 8th, she was thinking about getting back together with War Machine.
Aw geez.
Then, Christy Mack had a tattoo convention, but she needed help to prepare for it. First, she asked War Machine for help, but he said no, because War Machine had a fight to attend. So, Christy asked Corey Thomas to help her, and he said yes.
Now, here he comes, Jaguars.
On August 8th of 2014, both Christy Mack and Corey Thomas had been working all day long to prepare for her tattoo convention. Then, when it got late at night, that's when Christy Mack and Corey Thomas laid side by side on the same bed. Now, from this point on, there are two versions of what happened. Or should I say, three.
Well, it was Christy that said that. They were just laying on the bed fully closed.
Well, we weren't there, Big Naruto. Christy Mack and Corey Thomas's version of what happened is the same, but War Machine's version is a lot different.
You know the old saying, there are two sides to every story, but in this case, it's three sides.
Yeah, well, two of those sides are matching. Both Corey and Christy got up on the witness stand and said that while they were laying in the bed, the lights came on, and Jon Koppenhaver, also known as War Machine, appeared at the open door and said, "What the F?" And then, he immediately jumped on Corey Thomas and started pounding on him repeatedly. And then, War Machine started choking Corey. Christy Mack then ran to the bathroom and called 911 and told them what was happening. Corey then asked War Machine, "What was your end game here? Are you going to kill me?"
War Machine first threatened Corey with his Navy SEAL and Hell's Angels buddies, so that Corey wouldn't go to the police about this. And after Corey left, that is when War Machine started attacking and beating on Christy Mack.
And Jon Koppenhaver really brutalized her with his fist and a knife.
What War Machine did to Christy was really graphic. The torture and the beating lasted a long time. Then, War Machine said that he was going to kill Christy Mack. And then he went into Christy's kitchen and started shuffling through her knives. And that is when Christy got up, ran out the back door, as fast as she could, and as injured as she was.
Christy ran for blocks, screaming for help, and knocking on doors, until finally someone answered and called the police. And then Christy Mack was brought to the hospital. She got a whole lot of injuries, Jaguars. So many that Ralph couldn't list them all.
Also, if you watched episode 90th, where Ralph Jaguar reviewed this incident, he said there that he did see the pictures of Christy Mack after her beating at the hands of War Machine. But those pics were way too graphic for Ralph to put on here.
Yeah. Too graphic for Ralph. And that's bad. Jaguars.
Now, the pics of Christy Mack's injuries and beatings are on the internet. They're real easy to find. Ralph found them real easily. It's just that Ralph didn't have the balls to have them on his video.
So, that's Corey Thomas and Christy Mack's side of the story. And War Machine gave his. Probably while he was on the run, and Dog, the bounty hunter, was looking for him. War Machine posted a tweet, telling his version of what happened. War Machine said that he was going to Christy Mack's home to surprise her with a ring, and ask her to marry him. But when War Machine got there, he ended up fighting for his life. And War Machine pled not guilty to all charges.
And War Machine was being charged with 34 charges. And if convicted, he was facing up to life in prison.
The whole trial was posted on YouTube, and we all watched it all.
Jon Koppenhaver, also known as War Machine, was convicted on 29 of the 34 charges. Among the charges were 2 counts of attempted murder. The jury couldn't reach a unanimous verdict on that one.
Yeah, that one is a mistrial.
So, what does that mean? Are they going to retry him again on that?
It's not known. And since War Machine was found guilty on most of those charges, it looks like he will be doing some time in prison. So, what do we think?
Well, like we mentioned before, there are 2 sides to every story. But War Machine did flee the crime scene, and that didn't help his case at all.
Also, the DA said that when the cops caught up to War Machine, he wouldn't obey commands. He resisted, and therefore had to be tased.
Yeah. They tased him, bro.
The way that he acted in the hearing, and the way that War Machine acted at the trial, were completely different.
Yeah, at the hearing, he was acting like a douchebag, laughing and blowing kisses to the DA. And if you're wrongfully being accused of something, that is not how you act.
Exactly. Do you think the defense did a good job in this trial?
Hell, no! War Machine's lawyers did a horrible job. Their job was to prove that Christy Mack and Corey Thomas were lying, and they didn't do that.
War Machine's lawyers didn't put up a good argument to say that War Machine was innocent. They didn't point out any valid points.
War Machine's lawyer just went on, and on, and on, and just dragged on. And Ralph had a real hard time following him.
And even the DA was getting frustrated as well.
Well, then, maybe that's because War Machine's lawyers had no defense. And they knew it. They know that Jon Koppenhaver is wrong. And War Machine knows it. They honestly had no way to defend War Machine. They didn't have any valid points. That's why they brought up the fact that Christy Mack was sending War Machine naked pictures of herself.
Yeah, bringing up dirt and using it as a smokescreen. It is what it is. If you have no defense, then you have no defense.
So, Naruto, do you think War Machine is guilty, innocent, or you don't know?
Based on what I saw at the trial, and since the defense did such a lousy job, War Machine is probably guilty, and maybe should have been convicted on all charges.
This is one time that I agree with you. Big. If War Machine was convicted on those other charges, then he should have been found guilty on the attempted murder ones.
But our justice system sucks. You know that. And I don't know what to think about this situation. I'm unsure.
I feel like the DA did a great job. And she brought up a lot of valid points about this case. She really took it to War Machine. I mean, she really put the nail in his coffin.
The DA went off on War Machine.
Well, that's because of the emotion of this situation. This is a real issue that women in general have to worry about. So, yeah, the female DA was fighting for the ladies in this world. And I think that Jon Koppenhaver should have been convicted on all charges.
Okay, we're going to wrap this episode up in a minute. But I just want to say this one last thing. I really wish that War Machine would have gotten on the stand and gave his side of the story. But I know that it doesn't always go that way. I don't know about everyone else, but I feel like some parts are really missing here. I just feel like whenever a crime like this occurs, and the victim is saying one thing, and then the suspect is giving another version of what happened, both the victim and the defendant should get on the witness stand and each tell their side of the story. And let the jury and the people determine who's telling the truth. Instead of hiding behind an attorney that's going to drag on and drag on about useless points. That's just my opinion.
That's a great point, Naruto. That is it for this episode of The Reboot. Part 2 of this review on Beyond the Lounge, with Brittany Cable and Ralph Jaguar on the Ralph Jag channel. There, Ralph Jaguar and Brittany will give their review of this trial.
Peace out till later, Jaguars.